What started out as an accessories company quickly became a high-profile tuning operation. The ensuing years have seen a multitude of mad projects emerge from this Swiss company, including an array of crazy concepts. Here's how rinspeed morphed from being a seller of sunroofs to one of the most creative concept car builders the world has ever seen. It all started in 40 years ago, when Rinspeed Garage was set up to import sunroofs from the US and convert cars for handicapped drivers. Rinspeed made its Geneva Auto Show debut in 1979 with a turbocharged Volkswagen Golf GTI. While the mechanical upgrades are interesting, the restyled nose pointed to Rinspeed's future. This was the first Golf to feature rectangular headlights. Things started to get interesting in 1981, with Rinspeed unveiling the Aliporta, a Golf with gull-wing doors. The 80s were underway, and so was Rinspeed's rise to prominence as a company that wasn't afraid to push the boundaries, especially with its work on Porsches. Rinspeed took the wraps off its first heavily modified Porsche at the 1983 Geneva show, the 939, which came in coupe, cabriolet or targa flavors. At this point Porsche didn't offer a 911 Turbo Cabrio of its own. A factory-produced ragtop turbo wouldn't arrive for another 2 years. Rinspeed followed up the 939 in 1985, with a 969, a heavily modified Porsche 911 Turbo that was inspired by the Ferrari Testarossa, which at that point was the latest thing to come out of Maranello. The 939 was so named because it blended elements of the 928 and 911, but Porsche had registered the 939 moniker, which is why Rinspeed was forced to switch to R39 instead. This iconic shot from the mid-1980s shows Frank Reindekect at the wheel of an R39. If you didn't want your 911 to be mated with a 928, you could buy an R59 instead, which featured a different nose treatment with a standard rear end. You could buy your R59 in coupe or targa forms. To fit in with Rinspeed's new naming strategy, the 969 became the R69. At the front there were pop-up headlamps, while the rear was redesigned to incorporate 944 light clusters. Flat-nose 911s became all the rage among wealthy collectors from the early 1980s, but you didn't have to go to the factory to acquire one. Rinspeed was happy to build one for you. If you fancied a cabriolet-based R59, Rinspeed was happy to build you one, but it carried R89 badges instead. At the 1991 Geneva Salon, Rinspeed revealed its take on the 911 Speedster, based on the contemporary 964 Turbo with its 3.3-litre engine. Created to mark 25 years of Nissan in Switzerland, the Speed Art was unveiled in 1992. Based on a 3MOZX and featuring 420 circus horses hand-painted by Rolf Knie, the Speed Art featured larger turbos and intercoolers and a modified injection system to produce 420 bhp. Back in 1993, the Dodge Viper was one of the most outrageous cars you could buy, but in typical Rinspeed fashion, too much was not enough. To boost the car's presence, the Veleno featured ice-airing green paintwork, while nitrous injection upped the power from 400 bhp to 550 bhp. Concerned that the Bugatti EB110 was maybe not exclusive enough, Rinspeed offered a package to allow some individuality. The result was the Cyan, which arrived in 1994, with a reprofiled nose, restyled rear and an overhauled interior. Buyers could spec their own Cyan, with prices starting at 600,000 Swiss francs, around $460,000 and £400,000 at the time, but unsurprisingly, perhaps it seems just the one car was made. Rinspeed achieved manufacturer status in 1995, and to mark the occasion it unveiled the Roadster R and SCR at the Geneva Motor Show. The regular Roadster was fitted with a 5.0-litre Ford V8. The SC featured a supercharged version of the same engine, rated at 305 bhp. Rinspeed teamed up with Swiss pop duo Yellow to create this incredible machine, inspired by a 1938 Figoni Fallaci-bodied Talbot Lago 150 SS. Unveiled at the 1996 Geneva show, once again power came from a supercharged Ford V8, this time rated at 320 bhp. To celebrate its 20th birthday in 1997, Rinspeed created the Mono Ego in conjunction with a raft of other companies. The result was a car fully compliant with all EU regulations. Power all 410 bhp of it came from a supercharged V8 to give a claimed top speed of 161 miles per hour. Inspired by the Utah salt flat races of the 1940s, the Ego rocket made its debut at the 1998 Geneva Salon. Once again the car met all EU regulations, and as with the Mono Ego, power came from a Ford-supplied 32-valve aluminum V8, with 410 bhp on tap in supercharged form. The 1999 Geneva show car was even more bonkers than usual. The XTR-EM, sometimes known as the Extreme, was built as a multi-utility vehicle, which was effectively a pickup with a built-in crane dubbed Extralift that allowed a jet ski or motorbike to be carried in the rear. It's fair to say that the XTR-EM was rather challenged stylistically, and the market was also undoubtedly rather small, which is why nobody else has jumped onto the MUV bandwagon. This time power came from a Mercedes 5.5-litre V8. The 347 bhp lump could take the XTR-EM all the way to 147 miles per hour, which must have been frightening. When the tattoo was revealed at the 2000 Geneva show, rinspeed claimed that the play on words combines the emotional, erotic appeal of human body art with the 3 zeros that have come to symbolize the new millennium. Right. It was basically a pickup inspired by 1950s hot rods. The Extralift that had been introduced on the XTR-EM was carried over, because you just can't get too much of a good thing. In true hot rod tradition, the tattoo packed a 5.7-litre V8, tuned to give 409 bhp. Designed to be a race-bred single-seater for the road, you couldn't accuse the Rhone of being a looker. When it was unveiled in 2001, the Rhone was claimed to be the world's lowest drivable sports car. Its other claim to fame was that it could run on biofuel created from kitchen waste. Its rear-mounted 1.8-litre 4-pot engine was rated at 120 bhp. Can't choose between a 2-seater convertible and a 4-seater, why not have both in one? With the Presto, revealed at the 2002 Geneva Motor Show, at the press of a button the car extended by 70 centimeters, so you could drive around with 3 empty seats instead of just the one. Because let's face it, nobody would want to be seen in this monstrosity. As the looks suggest, Mercedes provided the motive power for the Presto, in the form of a 1.7-litre turbodiesel engine. When it comes to makeovers, few are as extreme, or bonkers, as the rinspeed Bedouin that appeared in 2003. Clearly derived from the Porsche 996, the Bedouin was the world's fastest car capable of running on natural gas. By the time the Bedouin was being designed, rinspeed had got a taste for cars that could convert themselves from one form to another. As a result, this 420 bhp supercharged off-roader could transform from being a pickup to a shooting brake. Everything was electrically powered, of course, with the transformation taking under half a minute. Amphibious vehicles have never been very successful from a sales point of view, but that didn't stop rinspeed from unveiling the splash at the 2004 Geneva Motor Show. Powered by a turbocharged 750cc 2-cylinder engine, the 140 bhp splash could top 45 knots 52 miles per hour on water and 124 miles per hour on land. In 2004, rinspeed introduced the Forester Lady, apparently an attempt to turn a Subaru into something more female-friendly. For those women who managed to resist the charms of a pink cabin, rinspeed came up with a lime green alternative. Nice. For 2005, Rinderknecht came up with a soundbite: the driver and not the technology should be the focal point of a car. To this end, the Senso was fitted with an array of sensors that could measure the driver's biometric data. Using this data, the Senso could adjust the cabin's colors, music, temperature and fragrances to make the driver more alert while also relaxing them. The Senso wasn't the only rinspeed delight at the 2005 Geneva Motor Show. There was also the Chopster. With a roof chopped by 70mm and bulging wing extensions, this wasn't the kind of project that rinspeed usually got involved in, but when you get the chance to create a looker like this, compared with some of the mad machines to come out of rinspeed, the Zazen that arrived in 2006 was rather tame. Indeed, it looked like little more than a Porsche Cayman with a dome perched on top. When it was unveiled, Rinderknecht said that the Zazen represented his vision of the future, although it wasn't really all but futuristic. The flat-six engine was pinched from a 997 Carrera S, which meant it was a 335 bhp unit that powered the rear wheels via a 6-speed manual gearbox. With rinspeed celebrating its 30th birthday in 2007, Rinderknecht was keen to push the boundaries once more. It's fair to say he did that with the Exorcist, with a body shell made of transparent plastic. Weighing just 750 kilograms, the Exorcist was fitted with a 150 bhp engine that ran on bioethanol. In 2007, Saab teamed up with rinspeed to create a 95 Estate that was more eye-catching than usual. The bio-power-fueled car was little more than a styling exercise, which is why this golden 95 should NT really warrant a mention here. But we couldn't deny you the magnificence of this dashboard. Just soak it up. Lovely. Amphibious cars were nothing new when the Scuba appeared in 2008, but rinspeed went a stage further with this Lotus Elise-based car which could be driven underwater as well as on the surface. Inspired by James Bond's Lotus Esprit from 1977's The Spy Who Loved Me, the zero-emissions Scuba was powered by 3 electric motors, 1 for driving on land and 2 for propulsion in the water. Billed as the world's first car whose body adapts to the number of passengers on board, the 2009 Échange was a single-seater sports car that transformed into a 3-seater at the push of a button, with the rear end of the teardrop-shaped car popping up. We've watched the video, and it's a lot less impressive than it sounds. The UC Urban Commuter was an electric city car that could manage 75 miles on a charge and could reach almost 70 miles per hour flat out. Unveiled in 2010, the UC concept was driven via a joystick rather than with conventional controls. The best part though was the somber interior, which we love for its understated colors. Think of this as a 21st century Citroën Mehari. When the Bamboo was revealed at the 2011 Geneva Salon, it was billed as a beach car for the modern age, a car that could go anywhere rather than be restricted to metalled roads. Innovations crammed into the Bamboo included an inflatable roof that doubled as a beach blanket and an electric drivetrain with a range of around 65 miles. The idea of a 6-wheeled Smart 4.2 might seem crazy, but that didn't stop rinspeed from pulling the wraps off just such a creation at the 2012 Geneva show. The idea was that you could drive the Smart in regular 4-wheeled mode most of the time, but when you needed the extra capacity you just attached a module onto the rear to give you extra carrying capacity. When it was unveiled at the 2013 Geneva Salon, the release claimed that with Micromax rinspeed transfers the idea of swarm intelligence to urban traffic and sets out to do nothing less than to revolutionize it. This pure electric box on wheels was apparently created for those who wanted to buy their own car, lift share, hail a taxi, car share, rent. So pretty much the same as any family car ever created then. rinspeed still hadn't got a grip with the shift key when the Exchange arrived in 2014, but it had seen that autonomous tech was about to become the must-have feature. The result was a pure electric luxury car that could drive itself. While the Exchange didn't actually feature a full suite of autonomous features, it was designed on the basis that such technology was just around the corner. Seemingly inspired by the BMW i3, the Buddy made its debut at the 2015 Geneva Salon. The Buddy was rinspeed's take on what an autonomous car should be like, complete with vehicle-to-vehicle V2V and vehicle-to-infrastructure V2X radio-based communications, radar and motion sensing systems including advanced camera monitoring. For the first time ever, rinspeed didn't unveil its new creation at the Geneva Motor Show in 2016. Instead it was at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas that we got our first glimpse of the ETOs, a car based on the BMW i8. Once again rinspeed was providing a glimpse of an autonomous future, this time powered by a petrol-electric hybrid powertrain. Unveiled at 2017's Consumer Electronics Show, the Oasis comes equipped with a heated drawer for carrying pizzas and a space in the dash to grow radishes. Yes, really. Let's face it, the Oasis is obviously what we all need in our lives. What does the future for rinspeed look like though? Now 61 years of age, there are few signs that Frank Rinderknecht is contemplating retirement anytime soon. We certainly hope not, for there are no dull moments when rinspeed is busy.